Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if it is your first time here. My name is Erin and I make videos all about what I get up to here in my sewing room, primarily garment sewing, but some other stuff gets in there too, as you will see in this video. Today's video is my May 2025 makes, so let's talk about what I got up to this month. The first thing is the non-garment that I completed this month, and it was a quilt for my husband. I used the Wilderness pattern from Art Gallery Fabrics, and I just subbed some of the color scheming, some of the colorways they had in there to make it fit his personality more. This is a free pattern. It's a generous size. It came out to kind of a square-ish throw size, basically. If you want practice doing half square triangles, this is the quilt for you. Let me go ahead and show it to you. I have a somewhat dramatic slow-mo video to insert so that you can appreciate it unrolling, and then I'll include some photos of it laying flat on the ground. For the backing, Adam chose two of the fabrics out of it that he really liked, and I put those together for the back. And then for the binding, I made it kind of scrappy. I just used bits that I had left over from a lot of the fabrics that were available. So yeah, this is all done. He absolutely loves it. The quilting was really simple. I just followed the lines of the mountains, and about every inch and a half or so would space them within each layer of mountains, and then mimic that in the sky also. It turned out really nicely. It washed up and crinkled really well, and I am so happy that he loves it so much, and it was a really, really nice project to work on. For the most part, I had to take a break in the middle for a little bit because holy half square triangles, I just needed a minute. I did get most of them to line up quite nicely, so it worked out really well and he loves it. Now moving on to what I typically get up to, or at least do a lot more of, and that is garments. This month I sewed garments for myself, and I got a couple things made for my toddler, which was nice. I haven't really sewn for her in a while, so I got a couple things for her. The first thing I made on the very 1st of May was this pair of green style 3R shorts. So I am a runner. I live in the South. It is very hot, and this is my favorite type of short to run in. This is the second pair that I have made. They have a lining. You can either do a brief lining or a bike short. I prefer the brief because the shorts just ride up anyway. And with this overlay, you can't see that I just have a brief on. You can do a 2, 3, or 4 inch waistband. On this pair, I opted for the 4 inch. And I think those are all the options. The size range is a B to an M. Greenstyle just redid their sizing, so I don't know if you can still find this size chart outside of their actual patterns. You probably can somewhere on their website, but it equates to a waist of 22 inches to 57 inches, and then the hips go from 32 inches to 62 inches. It is all knit fabric. You can do this overlay out of woven. You just have to then bind the edges. There are 2 cut lines for the overlay, and this is the shorter one, the shorter inseam. And they're just so comfortable to run in. I absolutely love them. It really has cut down on the amount of chafing I experience, especially on my longer runs, because there's not extra fabric bunching up. I still have to use a lot of Body Glide, but there's not that extra fabric also contributing to the issue. This fabric is just a white athletic fabric from, I believe, Robert Kaufman. I got it on sale from the sewing room in Birmingham, Alabama. I ordered it when they had a New Year's sale or a snow sale or something in January. And yeah, I don't love how this curls up. I'm still trying to find the perfect fabric that won't do that, but I don't think it's really that big of a deal. The links for all of these patterns and the fabric will be down below if I can find links for them. And then I also will include what size I made and my body measurements if you just want to kind of get a good gauge of what size you might want to make. The next pattern I completed is actually a wearable toile, so I'm not going to talk too much about it because I have a video coming out once I finish it in the actual fashion fabric. But this is the Love Notions Ballad Blouse. There is either a gathered or shirred view and then multiple sleeve options. The size range is from extra small to, I want to say, a 5X, 7X. is an extra small to a 5X. That's the pretty standard Love Notion size range. That equates to a full bust of 33 inches to 57.5 inches. This fabric is an airflow fabric. So this is a polyester that is woven to mimic the breathability of cotton. I did find that to be true. I really did not think it would be true. I bought a bunch of this on sale from Raspberry Creek Fabrics to use as fabric for toiles. And I decided to make this more full up and make it a wearable toile so that I could test the fabric out. And it like legitimately did feel very breathable. It helps that this is a flutter sleeve and a very flowy blouse. I don't think I would make anything more form-fitting out of this, but also with how drapey it is, I wouldn't make something more form-fitting. So I really do like this. I've worn it a good amount, and yeah, I think my fashion fabric version is going to come out really quite nicely. That's all I'm going to say about this. Oh, I made a large and graded to an extra large. The grading to an extra large was not necessary. I will not be doing that when I make the fashion fabric one. The next thing I made has already been worn a ton. I will be wearing it so much for the next several months. This is the Pattern Emporium Sea Change jumpsuit and play suit. It has a ton of options, as Pattern Emporium patterns do. So you can either do a full length jumpsuit or a shorter play suit, as they call it. There are a bunch of strap options, and then there's a facing at the top. If you need to be able to open it because you graded significantly, you can make it have an opening at the back, and it includes facing pieces for that also, which I think is really nice, so you don't have to draft that yourself and figure it out yourself if you need it to be able to open, or if you just want to size it down and make it less oversized of a fit, you already have those pieces to make it have an opening at the back. I chose to do the play suit. There are 2 cut lines for that. I think there's 2 cut lines for the jumpsuit also. There's like a cropped and a full length, if I recall correctly. And then for the play suit, there's a longer and shorter cut line. I chose the longer cut line. That is my only regret with this, and thankfully it's something I can fix. I can shorten it. It's kind of starts out a little bit long, and then because of the fabric growing throughout the day, it ends up at like kind of an awkward length, I feel like, kind of weirdly around my knees. The nice thing is a lot of people think this is a dress because it's so flowy, so it just looks like I'm wearing a dress of that length, and it seems a little less awkward because if you realize that it's a play suit, you, I think, notice how low the crotch is. It's a very dropped crotch. My thighs definitely rub together in there because the crotch is so low. There are notes in the pattern that talk about that being the intended fit. So it is not the fault of the pattern at all. And I don't actually mind it, but I do find the length to be a little long for my liking. And especially with it being a play suit, and not having to like worry about quite the same modesty issues as if I were wearing a shorter dress, I do think I'm going to shorten it. If nothing else, I'm going to shorten the next one I make. But that is the only thing I have to say about it. I do wear a ribbed like half tank underneath it. A full tank on me, the one day I tried that, rolled up constantly. So I wear this like perfect light blue ribbed tank underneath it. That's really handy because my daughter either pulls the strap down or the strap falls down and things like that a lot. Not to the point that I'm like, it's fully coming off, but it definitely does move a lot just because it's so oversized. Speaking of the strap, I chose to do the loop on the back. I think it's a really fun and cool detail. And once again, it walks you through how to do it. It's something you could figure out on your own, but it's just so nice that it gives you the pattern pieces, walks you through how to do it. This thing will be on repeat this summer, especially if I shorten it. But even if I don't shorten it, I'm just going to be wearing it a ton. It's perfect for the climate that I live in, and it's perfect for my lifestyle. So big fan, huge win with this outfit. I guess it is a whole outfit technically. After that, I made the Jacquarda shorts from Sinclair Patterns. If you saw my Me Maids on Vacation video, I talked about this ad nauseum. You saw so much of these shorts. So I'm just gonna let you know, I made a size 14 with the shorter hem, and I made the narrow waistband. There is a taller waistband available. So these shorts have a woven bottom and then a knit top. You do put elastic in there, But in the video, I talked about the fact that my friend made a muslin without the elastic. Christine, who actually gave me this pattern, she did not put the elastic in it when she made the toile. And one or two other people chimed into the comments saying they didn't put the elastic in either and they've been fine. So I will be eliminating the elastic in my next pair, which I think will help, because that was kind of the only thing I thought was funky about them, is just that the elastic like doesn't fill this whole knit band, and it ends up being like this whole seam allowance is elasticated. So it just feels a little funny, sits a little funny. But these things are so comfortable, so comfortable. I love the inseam length. I think they're very flattering. I wear a shirt over them. I actually wore that Love Notions ballad blouse over it. I wore an oversized Nirvana shirt over it with a pair of cute sandals or just my Birkenstocks to bum around. Like, perfect, so comfortable. They're gonna get a lot of wear this summer. These were, again, a wearable toile. I needed them to be wearable because I need shorts. I got rid of all of mine last year because they didn't fit and I wasn't wearing them. So like, why keep them? But I have no shorts. So I was like, well, if these fit even a little bit, I need to be wearing them. And they sure do. The more I've worn them, I don't think I need to do anything actually to adjust the pattern. I'm still thinking maybe add a little bit of length to the rise. I'm not sure. I need to wear them a little bit more. But the other cool thing about making these wearable and putting the time into them is that I got to practice all the top stitching, which is really good. I think they're really, really fun details. It has you do all of this top stitching and walks you through it. I really enjoy patterns that do that because I don't have a lot of ready to wear clothes anymore. I've gotten rid of a lot of them because they just don't fit me or I don't ever wear them. So I don't really have finishing references. And most of the time when I'm in the store, I'm with a toddler. So I can't be like, here, give me 10 minutes to look through how these shorts are finished. You know, it's just not how my life works. So I really like when they tell me how to, like, where to add the bar tacks, what to do. Because then I look at it and I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, that is how clothes are meant to be finished. And I feel like I'm learning more. Like, I'm not just getting a nicely finished pair of shorts. I'm learning things that then I can take to a future pair of shorts. You know, maybe they don't tell me to put a bar tack there or something, and I can remember back to these instructions and back to doing this and how nice it looks finished. So anyway, good details in the instructions, good finishing details. One thing that's really cool about Sinclair Patterns is they have 3 size brackets. So they have petite, regular, and tall. I fall right on the line of petite and regular, but I tend to make the couple of Sinclair Patterns patterns I have made. I've done the regular and have been fine because I think it splits at 5'7" and I'm like 5'6" and 3/4, 5'7" on a good day. So I tend to lean with the regular. The Sinclair Patterns instructions are so good, you guys, especially when it talks about how to pick your size. These are like well worth the money. Not that it's a crazy expensive pattern by any means, but so well worth it. It goes from a US 0 to a US 30. So let's do waist. The 0 is an extra small 23.6 inch waist, and then size 30 is a 52.4 inch waist, and that equates to a 4XL, they are saying. Another thing I really like is that it talks about the intended fit of the garment, and it has a diagram of a person, and it says like where the waistband should be, where the shorts should be, and then where the hem length of each of the shorts should fit. And that is like, you know, should fit based on their drafting and what they intend. Another cool thing it talks about is making a muslin. And it doesn't just like say, oh, make a muslin because that's the best thing to do. Because I think every pattern says it. Like, the best way to get a good fit is make it one time first. Duh, thank you. But it kind of shows you how to do it cheatsy, right? How to just do the bare minimum to see what the fit is like. And I think that is so awesome. Like, if you are a beginner, I really highly recommend Sinclair Patterns because they walk you through everything really well, and you learn things. Like, you are learning. And I know it comes up in the comments anytime anyone talks about like, oh, this was beginner friendly or not, because it tells you how to do things exactly. Like, no, I do not expect instructions to teach you how to sew or teach me how to sew. I don't expect them to teach me how to finish things. I don't expect them to teach me the details to do, but like, dang, I really appreciate when they do. And I want to give them a shout out and make sure that anyone who is starting to sew or wants to learn new skills knows that they can do it from a pattern like this, because we do not have the same resources to learn how to make garments that I think generations before us did. Like, we don't learn this in school. I had home ec. We did like cooking. That's what we did in home ec. And I don't even think they have home ec in schools anymore. So like, we're not learning how to sew in school anymore, you guys. We have to learn somewhere. And being able to buy a pattern that teaches you things like this is awesome. That's what I have to say about patterns that teach you things. All right. I don't disagree with the point, but it irks me when people are like, I don't expect a pattern to teach me how to sew. That's not what I'm saying. I don't think that's what any of us are saying when we say like, oh, it teaches you stuff and it's a good pattern because it's thorough. Like, the way that most of us that sew as a hobby are getting information about how to sew is different than it used to be. And patterns are one way that we learn things. That's all. That's my only point. These shorts are made from a remnant that I got at Joann's of like a mid-weight light wash denim. And then this is just a white jersey that I don't even know where I got it from. Probably knitfabric.com if I had to guess. So that's what that was. The next thing I made was the Little Lizard King Waikiki. This is a swim cover-up. I made it from a terry jacquard fabric that I got at Hobby Lobby over a year ago. I think it was part of their spring 2024 release. I don't really shop at Hobby Lobby anymore. I try to avoid it, but I have like gobs of this fabric left because I fell in love with it. It was the first time I had seen it. Now it's available tons of places. A lot of fabrics like this are available, but that was the first time I had seen it. I hadn't even seen it in stores yet on like ready to wear items. So I was super excited about it and bought, I think, like 5 or 6 yards. So I'm gonna be sewing through this for a long time. But I made the Little Lizard King Waikiki in a size 3. I did the partial zip with a lined hood and pockets. You can add ruffles. I didn't do that. I did do long sleeves because I wanted to provide like good drying and good coverage when we're at the beach and when we're outside. I don't have to show you because she wore it today and it's in the wash. Simple pattern, nothing significant to say about that. It goes from 12 month to I think 14. That's pretty much what, 14 years. It's pretty much what all Little Lizard King patterns seem to go to. They'll have the baby one and then it'll be like 2T to 14 years. She loves it and it works really well. She used it at the beach and then she used it again today at a splash pad. Next, I made this little romper for her. I intended this fabric to be for myself. It is a custom print from Raspberry Creek Fabrics. They had a sale, they have pretty regular sales, and at one of the custom printing sales, I ordered 3 things custom printed because I wanted to see how it turned out and what I thought. I'm not going to talk too much about it because like right after that, very recently, they sold the company. The owner sold the company, so it's under new ownership. The previous owner is still like on the board and active in the company, but the whole printing process moved to a different place. So they're different printers. I think more technology or more ability is coming or is available at this new location with the new owners. So there goes my plan to try some of the custom printed fabric and decide what I think about it because it's not going to be the same anymore. This is going to be a shirt for myself, but I didn't think about the directionality and I cut the front upside down. So it was not going to be for myself anymore. I had only bought a yard and I need a yard to get a shirt for myself. There was no way I was going to fix that issue. So thankfully, it flexed to being a romper for my daughter. This is the Peekaboo Patterns Harlow romper. I made her the dress last year from a tie-dye fabric and she loved it. So I decided to make the romper this time. It has pockets, which she loves, an elasticated waist, then a bodice. You can do either a tank top or this dolman sleeve, and I chose that option. I will say it's harder for her to get this on than the dress. Obviously the dress could just pull over her. This, she has to go through the neck hole, and that can be a little bit of a challenge and not so fun. So I don't think this is gonna fit her super long because of that, but it's super, super cute. I love the pockets. I made it entirely on my serger and cover stitch. So my sewing machine was not involved in this. Even the top stitching, I did a chain stitch on my cover stitch machine for the first time. So look at me go. The last thing I finished this month was something that I actually cut out about a year ago. It's the Petite Stitchery Dawson Color Block Rash Guard and Swim Shorties. Cover sizes 2T to 17. So very broad size range there. I cut it out a year ago. Thankfully, I cut it out in a 3T and it fits her. It's quite tight. It's not gonna fit her past probably the next 2 months or so. Well, the way she's been eating, it won't fit her past next week, but it fits her for a little bit right now. She looks like a traffic cone. I absolutely love it. It is the safest swimsuit in the history of swimsuits. She's easy to find. She wore it at the splash pad today, and like I almost never lost her because she sticks out so bright. It's so fun. I did extend this. That's what made me put it off for so long, honestly, is I extended the rash guard so it would be full length instead of just cutting off kind of at her waist. So I had to draft the bottom of the rash guard, and that included drafting the color blocking wave of it. And I just thought it was going to be really tedious to sew all those pieces together, and I wasn't 100% sure that it would work out. So I just didn't do it for a year. But that project bag has been staring at me, and I finally pulled it out and finished it. And I love it. I'm sad that it's not going to fit her super long, especially because the top bunches up on her a lot. I looked at other tops, toddler tops, and a rash guard top. I downloaded the Fathom 5 rash guard, which is a free rash guard pattern, and I looked at that one, and all of it was like very straight down, straight down, straight down. So I just kind of took this straight down, but it's like very tight across her belly. Girl's got a belly, it's so cute. It's very tight across her belly. Thankfully, the bottom has a band, so that holds it down really well. It doesn't ride up at all, like across her entire body, but there ends up being a lot of fabric here because it is also too long for her. I should have made it shorter, made the rash guard part shorter. So she ends up with like kind of a lot of extra fabric up here. I asked her multiple times if it's comfortable, and she said, yeah, it's comfy. The day I finished it, or the day after I finished it, when I showed it to her, she wanted to try it on, and she wore it for the rest of the afternoon in our house. She's walking around a giant glowing orange cone, basically, because she loved it so much. And today she wore it, and yeah, she has not said anything about it being uncomfortable. And since she's not going to fit in it that long, I don't care to try and figure out a solution. If I make this again, which I probably will, I mean, it goes to 17 years, I will most likely again extend it, but like take into account the belly situation. And maybe try it on her a little more as I'm making it to see how it's gonna fit. But I'm just so happy I finished it, you guys. A year. I cut that out at least like a year ago. I could dive back into my videos and find where I talked about cutting it out. But I want to say it's been about a year. So done. Checked that off the list. I'm so excited. So that is everything I made this month. It was a very productive month. And I'm really happy with all of the makes. Like none of them were a bummer. None of them were not good. I'm super happy. So that is it for the sewing stuff. In terms of May as a month, I just wanted to let you guys know that I so incredibly appreciate all of the comments on my life update video that I posted a couple weeks ago, sharing the news of my mom's passing. This like truly is a community, and I appreciate all of you so much, all of your kind words, all of your understanding, all of your prayers. Like I really appreciate it. I just do. That's it. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. That's it. I am having so much fun sewing. I will be honest, I was a little worried that sewing would be really difficult, especially like finishing my husband's quilt, because my mom taught me how to sew. She made clothes for us and altered things for years and made gobs of quilts. But honestly, it has brought me so much joy to continue to sew. Because we shared this hobby, and she gave me the gift of sewing, is how I feel about it. Like she gave me the joy that this brings to me, and I know she's really proud of me, and would love to see everything I'm making. So yeah, she would love to see my daughter and all the little stuff I'm making her, and it is bringing me a lot of joy to sew and remember her and what she gave me in this hobby. That's all. So yes, May was a good month. We got to go on vacation and things have been good, and that's it, you guys. Things are good. And thank you to all of you. I have some more videos planned. I am enjoying making these videos. I don't love the editing so much, but I've never loved the editing. It's worth it for the end result and to get to chat with you guys. I'm sure I have lots of weird random stuff to edit out of this one, but let me know what you got up to in May. Let me know what you liked out of my May makes. If you liked all of it, I am more than open to hearing that. If you liked none of it, I am sort of open to hearing that. And I will talk to you guys in the comments. I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.